So good afternoon, everybody. Really excited to be here. I'm the founder and CEO of Stack. I'm also a 15-year real estate agent and executive in New York City. So still an active broker. And I basically built this based on my own domain expertise as an agent and also out of frustration, because what I really wanted was, before there was work from home, I was trying to figure out how I could work from anywhere. So that's sort of the guiding light, the North Star for this app, is just to be able to manage your business on the run wherever you happen to be. So at a quick overview, I'll just going to come back to this website. This is stacksrealestate.com if you're following along at home. So what does Stacks do? So Stacks helps agents close more deals with goal setting, performance tracking, CRM, open house, sign-in, automated communications, and shareable calculators for mortgage closing costs and ROI. Couple of places where we really fit into, I think, the problem set for this exercise is in performance. We're all about agent brokerage performance. We've been likened to the Fitbit for real estate agents in a feature in Inman's Favorite Tech in 2019. Another place where we fit into this problem set, I believe, is in communication with buyers and sellers, which is incredibly important these days with COVID. And also just sort of the application process. You'll see in a couple of seconds how we sort of fall into the overarching theme of this challenge, which is just getting people back into buildings. And based on my experience as an agent, I think more so than get people back into buildings, it's incredibly important. And how do agents be mindful of the process so that they're keeping tenants in buildings? It's a lot like any business practice. It's a lot cheaper to keep people than go out and find a new tenant or a new client or user for the tech space, et cetera. So I'm just going to show you a couple of quick links. Getting started with Stacks is extremely easy. The first step is basically to go to the App Store and just download the app. It's going to ask you just two simple questions when you get started. And number one is, what is your net income goal for the current year? And then also, what is your company split? So I'll get into that a little bit later. I'm just going to focus on the app for now. And also, just as a heads up, if you do go to the website, we made it extremely easy for people to upload their content. So one of the things I think is a very important fact in terms of building tech within the real estate industry and having worked at, say, Brown Harris and Douglas Sullivan, is you really want to think about your user. 65% of agents across the entire United States are a 55-year-old woman. So, building tech with that in mind is extremely important. So what we've done is we've just mimicked the onboarding process to something that everybody knows, which is like MailChimp or Contact. And the way that you do that is just by clicking login on the website after you've downloaded it on the App Store. And then again, it's going to be exactly the same as like MailChimp. You just upload a CSV or an Excel file. So great. So just moving into the app now, I'm going to give you a couple of high-level views of the main tabs in the app, and then happy to answer any questions. So this is sort of your main dashboard. And again, it's all mobile focused. The idea is to be outside of the office because the clients aren't in the office. They're outside. They're at a coffee shop or they're at a volunteering event. So now you have it in your hand. Quick view of this is now that you've put in your agent split, which, by the way, the agent split can accommodate anything from like a traditional New York City brokerage house where you might have like 5 or 6 levels of hurdle commissions up to, say, like an EXP or a Keller Williams that's set up more on a cap structure basis. Or if you happen to own your own brokerage, as I do, you could just have a fixed agent split. So for this example, this example user, we're just going to assume that they had a goal of making $1 million net per year, and that they're at a fixed percentage of 100%. So that clocks out at about $40 million in sales volume, which is their goal. So you can see this person is about 26% on the way to their goal. Here's the 40 million. And myself, what I'm always thinking about as an agent is, where am I currently? Where am I going, and how do I get there? So for this example, this user has sold $10 million so far, and they've got roughly $30 million to go on a sales basis. So if you were to click on this tab, on the speedometer, sorry, you'll see it changes from sales over to gross commission, then over to net commission, So you can constantly be aware of where you are and where you're going. If you go down here, we've got just some sort of high-level statistics. We'll drill down in a bit, but you can see this user has, if you click on it, you'll see they've got 40% in repeat clients. If you scroll over, you'll see 60% are sellers, 20% are landlords. It's just helpful, as you construct your business or if you transition your business and you want to manage those KPIs, those key performance indicators. You can also see where your business is coming from so that you can double down and get more of it. So this user is 40% in the West Village, 20% Upper West Side, number of deals, so on and so forth. And then I'm going to show you a couple of things really quick before we leave the screen is, a large part of this too is forecasting. So, what we found, what I found just being in the industry and also talking to users as they use this is agents tend to be more words people when they're in sales than they are numbers people. So if we can automate the financial forecasting, the tax forecasting, all those types of things and make it completely foolproof, we believe that by showing them these key performance indicators, we can make them just better business operators in general, which in turn will make them top performing agents. So in order to do that, just on a high level view, click status. You can check, if you want to forecast what I've closed so far, but then also take into account deals that are in contract, or just say deals that are in contract and that are accepted. You can do any sort of combination. It'll update that screen right away. So I'm going to move in just at a deeper dive here. What we've done is we've thought about how the Wall Street Journal rankings come through and the Real Trends rankings come through every year. And we want to put those, we want people to be cognizant of those metrics so that they can make that list and rank high on it. So what you have here is every year that the agent's been in the business, it's super low friction. If you want to add another year, you don't have to go back in and update the entire spreadsheet or add all these new users. You could just simply with a click, like let's say if you wanted to add 2013, you're just thinking about like what your net commission was that year. Then it'll take into account and you can get a total career view. So just looking at this list real quick and harkening back to the Wall Street Journal, I mean, the high level statistics that I showed you on the main performance page are all here. So you're thinking about your goals, but you're also thinking about, the number of sales, rentals, but also number of deal size, which you're probably all familiar with, the agents in the audience or the managers are all familiar with. This is really just designed. I mean, I've had coaches that cost tens of thousands of dollars a year, incredible managers. I've been a manager myself. This is just designed to be a proactive tool that you can collaborate with. Agents can collaborate with their managers. Managers can collaborate with the brokerage owners, and they can see top down how their agents are doing, how their offices are doing, so on and so forth. Same thing with coaches. I used to waste a lot of time on coaching calls, just updating spreadsheets. And here, if my coach could just pop in, they could see before we even get on the call and see where I'm at. Other things to make people better business people is, what's your pitch success rate? How profitable are you? Are you growing year over year? Are you tracking to your monthly pace that, again, is all set out with those first two things you enter when you start the app? Every other profession, if you're an attorney, you're thinking about what you bill on an hourly rate. So keeping that in mind on a yearly basis, I think is extremely important. So you can double down on where your time is best spent and cut bait where it's not. Same thing with expenses and taxes. This is all just aggregate, but you'll see on a per deal basis. I'll show you that in a second. Average, median, sale, and rental. Pricing accuracy is something I use in listing presentations all the time. It's just a way to communicate confidence in a listing presentation. I could say to a seller while I'm right there, I could say, this is the price I'm giving, and you could be confident in that price because over the life of my career, I sell to 97% of what I initially list the property at. You can track that with buyers too to see how close you are to their initial budgets. Average days on market. If you're building your referral income, it's extremely important, especially in this market as everybody's moving around. You can keep track of inbound, outbound, what you're paying your company, and also how many hours you're working. So I'm just going to move over to the clients tab. This is essentially your sphere of influence. I used a ton of CRMs. I just wanted a really mobile, minimal clean version, just the basics that I needed. I'm going to show you really quick what this is here. So basically, you have the name of the person, the property they're associated with, the price, and then what they're worth as far as net income if you were to close the deal. If you see a flame, that just means they're hot. You know, just a lot of these things are from simple practices that I picked up along the way, but this is just an idea from one of Barbara Corcoran's books that was incredible. She had the A, B's, and C's, and you throw away the C's and you double down on the A's. So that's just hot, warm, and cold. If you see two checks, in New York City, we call these direct deals. You're representing both sides. The rest of the country is calling them double ending deals. Either way, but just to you can sort by a million different ways here: years, hot clients, cold clients, what's closed, sellers, etc. A number of other things here too. The app will default to highest commission, but regardless, this is just basically like we were talking about before. If you're thinking I sold 10 so far and I need 30 to hit my $40 million goal, where's that going to come from? So you can come over here to and click on any combination of these radio buttons to try to find your your $30 million to hit your goal. So here it'll aggregate everything, just like you might do like Control A in an Excel file if you were chained to a desk. And here you can see it'll make up the rest of that income. So I'm just going to X out of that, and I'm going to give you a quick view of what's behind each and every person here. Hold on one sec. Let me just find. Okay. Give me one sec, actually. Something we recently added based on feedback for people that are playing a little bit more of a volume game. And they wanted to be able to sort by in the initial screen based on the date that they were supposed to follow up, so they could just go through and kind of robocall a little bit. Maybe not as much of a New York City thing, but incredibly important in the rest of the country. So, so you've got just an abundance of data here about the deal and about the client. You can call and email from directly within. This is where your follow-up is. It'll send a reminder, your client type, status, Barbara Corcoran thing I just mentioned, hot, warm, and cold. This is where it's going to track your price accuracy. So let's just say I'm going to put in 7 million here. You've got everything you would need about the deal, the commission, if you had to override it. If it's a co-broke, you can click that. And I'm just going to show you real quickly too here. You've got a place to put referral, your house split. It'll give you your projection, your net income, your expenses on this deal, your tax projections for this deal. So let's say it winds up being a $175,000 commission. It's going to tell you to put $57,000 away so you don't get caught flat-footed with your quarterly estimated payments. I think that's something I've seen a number of times with agents. And another part, just to go back to the problem set for this challenge, is in communication. So there's just a couple of places. I'm going to breeze past a few features just in the interest of time. But for closing date, so a lot of systems will give you an alert based on when you've closed the property. But as an agent, just like in practical terms, it's great to have the alert on the day of, but that's almost too late. What you want is the day of, but also like a week in advance, so that you could plan a dinner with Gary, or you could plan, you could send him something nice, a box of wine or a case of wine or whatever. And so that's all just going to be based off the closing date, neighborhood, lead source, all of that other stuff, a place to put notes. If you want to report a deal to your manager, to your company, you can do that here. I'm going to zoom out real quick and just show you another opportunity we've made for, see where Dwayne here, for sellers.
Hey, Nicholas, this is Sandy.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to start wrapping up to keep on time, please.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah,
no, that's okay.
I'll skip ahead. I'm just going to show you really quick another opportunity to communicate with people. We've got shareable calculators. We've got mortgage, cap rate, cash on cash, closing costs. So if you click the button, you can add as many lines as you want here. If you click the button, you can text it, email it, WhatsApp. We've also got open house intake, so you could hand your phone to somebody at an open house. The cool thing about it, though, is that as you're looking through the people that came that day, you can just click Move to Clients. It'll sync over to your Clients tab. Moving forward, you can organize all your vendors here. You can organize all your resources. We've got a ton of things. You can find us at Stacks Real Estate Online. We partnered with continuing education, with Amazon for purchases, all sorts of things, and discounts on continuing ed and certifications. That's kind of the gist of it. I'll let you move on there.